Welcome to the latest video on this channel. Last time, the focus was on the role of Amanda's stepfather in manipulating her son to turn a straightforward case of accidental death by drowning into an alleged murder. Now the emphasis is on how those who questioned the boy on the day and at the trial got what happened so wrong. Let's start with the police officers, who 1 hour after the death of Amanda's daughter interviewed her son once they were drawn into the stepfather's desire to believe a crime had been committed. One of the officers, on the same TV show that Amanda's mother and stepfather had appeared on a couple of years after the trial, admitted that neither of the officers had ever received training of any description in how to question a child as a witness. This is made abundantly clear in the video of their interview with Amanda's son, where his puzzled, quizzical stares into space and distinct lack of eye contact with the officers during his pauses in between some of their questions indicated he had not really understood what they were asking him. Next, there is the woman from Child Protection Services, who interviewed Amanda's son 4 hours after her daughter's death. Only a matter of a couple of hours or so then, after the police had. Speaking as a therapist who works with children, there were two glaringly obvious errors made by this woman questioning the boy. Firstly, she allowed him to play with the sheriff's badge he had been given, either with his hands or with his feet when it was on the floor. Like the police officers, the woman got very little eye contact from the boy, and she totally lost engagement with him because he was so distracted by that badge. What she should have done is asked him to put the badge away so that she had his undivided attention. Secondly, the boy not being able to keep his legs still whilst he was sitting with the woman should have been a sign to her that he was becoming afraid of getting caught out not telling the truth. Highlighting that the boy was sometimes making things up as he went along is him suddenly acting very animatedly towards the woman and exclaiming he was pretending to shoot his gun at his mother and that his sister was screaming for him to call the police, even though her head was supposedly under the water. If you watch the woman interview the boy, it is really hard to know who appears more disinterested in being there, and it's certainly not a good look for the woman given her responsibility in these circumstances. We now come to the prosecution. Throughout the trial, the prosecution repeatedly had no choice but to claim Amanda's son's memory was better on the day of the accident, due to so many inconsistencies in his story when he gave evidence. But you see, it's just not true that his memory was better back then on the day. In the space of a couple of hours or so, on that actual day, the boy changed his version of events noticeably from what he told the police to what he then told the woman from Child Protection Services. Although the woman did explain this, she also admitted she made an assumption about where the boy had been during the drowning, which raises further concerns around her being experienced enough to have questioned him, and all only adds to the unreliability of his story. 5 months after the tragic incident, and a month before the trial, Amanda's son was asked to draw a picture of a time he was scared, and he drew the swimming pool and what he apparently remembered. I have seen or read nothing to explain why the boy had been scared, or that he was even asked why he had been scared. But you now had the prosecution believing the drawing to be an accurate depiction of what happened, even though it was drawn 5 months after the event and not on the day they argued his memory was better, a day on which he changed his story within a couple of hours or so. So the prosecution constantly contradicted itself during the trial. Why then did the jury ignore all the significant reasonable doubt and not see there was no real case of murder to answer for? Remember, the jury took just 2 hours, including lunch, to return a verdict of guilty. 2 hours, including lunch. Just how seriously were they taking this? There is something very wrong there. Anyway, a lot more for you all to ponder. Thank you for watching.